We are back here with more Fox 12 Now on this Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler, live here in the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, and we are here every weekday covering a wide range of topics. And one thing that is certainly apparent is that Oregon is a great place for wine. We've learned about that, some of the wine growing areas that have happened here, and just also a lot of great wineries and experiences that people could have. And speaking of wine experiences, that is what we're going to bring up here now, talking about Loch Winery. And we are joined by Hope, who is one of the purveyors of said winery. And Hope, thank you very much for being here and joining us for the show today. And a great backdrop wherever you are right now. I'm jealous of that. But I wanted to start off, could you tell us about yourself? And we're going to get into these adventures and these experiences, but could you tell us about yourself and Loch and just, a little bit about how it got going?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. We live on Hag Lake. It's right out behind me here. And we've lived here for 27 years and just really love the beauty of Oregon. And I've been involved in the wine industry for a number of years and just am finally launching my own label. It's a family business. My children and my husband are the other owners of the company. And we are just happy to have our own label that's really representing the beauty of Oregon.
What is it that made you want to get into this, to having your own label?
I have been an enjoyer of wine for a while. And several years ago, I owned a wine bar in Forest Grove called Urban Decanter. It's still there. And have just been involved in this industry. I just love the agriculture and the, different seasons and the just amazingness that wine can demonstrate for our region.
And one of the things, when it comes to wine is people like to go out to wineries or go out to different things. And you, with Loch, are, as it says there, I guess on the screen, are offering something more along the line of adventures or experiences. Can you explain to us what that means?
Yes. There are so many gorgeous, amazing tasting rooms in Oregon to try wine. And I just am not going to be able to compete with that. So we came up with a little different concept where our wine club will be monthly experiences at different locations in Oregon that are really highlighting the beauty of what we have to offer here in our state. And our first one is this wine dinner that will be at Hag Lake under their covered pavilion. And then the next one will be a Tualatin River paddle on the river, and we'll have boxed lunches and wine and little sweet treats. So it'll be a fun adventure day. And, I've lived here for so long and have never been on the Tualatin River. So what a fun way to build a wine club with these experience-based tastings.
I love it. You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
So I should have fixed that. But that's great. So getting out and enjoying the outdoors and enjoying, as you mentioned, what Oregon has to offer, what the Northwest has to offer, and then having wine along with it. So is there a process of figuring out what wine pairs with what adventure, or is it just wine's great no matter what?
Yeah, that could be a whole new, gambit of pairings, is the wine with the adventure. But honestly, our wines are very approachable. We're not trying to be overly serious. We're trying to really make wines that anybody can like and that are financially approachable as well, because the wine industry in Oregon's in a little bit of trouble. It's had a few rough years, and when I talk to my children who are in their 20s, they say, the cost of wine is part of why it's hard for them to get into that. So we're trying to make it reasonably affordable to where anyone can have a fun adventure with wine.
Nice, something that's accessible for a lot of people, no matter what. I like that idea. for the experience and adventure, you mentioned that Hag Lake is going to be one of them. What can people expect at this first event?
This first event is a chef prepared 3-course dinner that will feature seafood as part of the main entree since we're at the water. And we will have a live musician and a whole bunch of fun prizes and special offers. It's our launch party as a business, so it's kind of a bigger event type thing. It's an adventure because we're hosting it on the shores of Hag Lake, but it's not so much of an adventure as it is a wine dinner.
Nice. And I know one of the other things, too, that's part of this is partnering with organizations like Oregon Wild. And could you tell us about that partnership?
Yes. Oregon Wild is an amazing organization. It's one of the older nonprofits in our state that works really hard to protect wild lands and our waterways. And as you know, those have been under, in trouble recently with things that are overusing those resources. And it's really making it, difficult to keep those wildlands wild. But Oregon Wild is an amazing company or nonprofit organization, and we're just happy to talk about them and share their work. They're very important to conservation in Oregon.
Well, that's great. So, kind of bringing a bunch of things together and a bunch of organizations together, and all celebrating that outdoors and celebrating what Oregon has to offer, and wine. I mean, wine alone. That's worth celebrating. For people who want to join up for this first event and then all of the other things that you have going, what's the best and easiest way for them to do so?
Easiest way is to get on our website, which is lochwinery.com, and it's LOCH, like the Scottish word for lake.
Perfect. Well, thank you, very much for joining us to talk about this, and congratulations on getting this going, getting your label out there, and finding a unique way to further, wine experiences and adventures in general. And congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching, this is Fox 12 Now. We're going to take a quick break. We've got more coming up here as part of our programming, as part of our show. If there's breaking news that happens, I will be here for you with that, as we are every single weekday. We are going to be talking about, California condors coming to Oregon for the first time in 122 years. So that's going to be a segment that's coming up here. And all that is going to be leading up until our 4 p.m. news. So we'll take a quick break right now. Back with more here on Fox 12 Now.